Have you ever wondered why the things you desire most, love, success, peace, seem to drift further away the harder you chase them, as if the universe itself recoils from your grasp? It's a cruel paradox that leaves you breathless, frustrated, and questioning what invisible rulebook you've unknowingly violated. You tighten your grip, push harder, try to manifest with more intensity, only to feel the emptiness grow. The world has told you that more effort, more wanting, more relentless pursuit is the way, but what if that was the grandest illusion of all? What if the true key was never in the chase, but in the quiet, sovereign power of surrender, the radical act of letting go? If this truth stirs something ancient and undeniable within you, know this message has found you for a reason. This is not coincidence, it is your sign. Let the universe witness your awakening. Like this message, subscribe to stay on this path, and type "I am ready to receive" in the comments. You are not alone. And this right here is the beginning of a new way forward. You must come to understand a fundamental truth of our existence, a sacred and immutable universal law that has been obscured by the deafening noise of modern society. The energy you emit is the reality you attract. Your inner world is the divine blueprint for your outer world. When you exist in a state of desperate, grasping need, you are vibrating at the frequency of lack. It is an energy that screams into the vast, intelligent cosmos, "I am incomplete. I am missing this essential piece. I am not, and cannot be, whole without it." Imagine for a moment that your soul is a magnificent, infinitely powerful cosmic radio. When you are desperately wanting love, you are not tuned to the frequency of love itself. You are tuned into the jarring static of Loneliness FM, a station that endlessly plays the sad songs of past heartbreaks and airs commercials for self-doubt. When you are frantically chasing financial abundance, you are not broadcasting wealth. You are locked onto the weak, intermittent signal of the scarcity station. And the universe, in its infinite and impartial wisdom, can only respond to the frequency you are broadcasting. It cannot give you what you are asking for with your words if your energy, your very being, is screaming the opposite. It hears your song of lack and, in its perfect, reflective nature, lovingly sends you more experiences, more situations, and more circumstances that perfectly confirm that feeling of lack. This is not a punishment, it is a divine feedback system. It is sacred guidance, a cosmic mirror showing you precisely where your energetic alignment is currently focused. So you chase and you chase, putting every last ounce of your life force into the pursuit, but you are running on an energetic treadmill, going nowhere, creating a whirlwind of frantic, anxious energy that, by its very nature, repels the calm, steady, and high vibrational energy of peace, love, and true, effortless abundance. The world teaches you to grip, to clench, to control, but your higher self, your eternal soul, is whispering for you to do the one thing that feels the most counterintuitive. Open your hand and trust. Let's talk about the profound soul-level illusion of needing something external in order to feel a sense of happiness or wholeness. Think back to a time when you were completely and utterly consumed by a desire. Perhaps it was the desperate, all-consuming need for a specific person to text you back. Their response, in your mind, held the very key to your self-worth for that day, that week, perhaps even longer. You checked your phone every few seconds, a cold, hard knot of anxiety tightening in the pit of your stomach. Your entire emotional ecosystem, your inner peace, your fundamental sense of being okay in the world, was held hostage by something completely and totally outside of your control. In that moment of intense waiting and needing, were you truly living? Were you present in your own life? Or were you in a state of suspended animation, a self-imposed emotional prison, waiting for an external event to come along and grant you permission to feel whole again? This is the signature frequency of need, and it is fear wearing a very clever, very convincing disguise. At its core, it's the insidious fear that you, just as you are not enough. It is the deep-seated, often unconscious fear that without that specific job, that particular relationship, or that public validation, you are fundamentally flawed, incomplete, and unworthy. And so, we construct our entire lives around chasing these external things, believing them to be the missing pieces of our soul's sacred puzzle. We create a narrative of conditional happiness. We tell ourselves, when I get the promotion and make 6 figures, I'll finally feel secure and I can relax. When I find my one true soulmate, I'll finally feel complete and loved. When the world finally recognizes my unique talent, I'll finally feel worthy and seen. But can you see the trap? This is a game of when, then, that keeps you in a perpetual state of becoming and robs you of the profound power of being. It postpones your joy, outsourcing it to a hypothetical future that may never arrive in the way your ego has imagined it, because the very foundation upon which you are building your future is the shaky, sinking ground of fear, not the solid, unshakable rock of radical self-love and inherent inner wholeness. Now, right here, in this moment of understanding, is where the sacred alchemy begins to unfold. The very instant you stop needing, you begin to receive. This is the divine art of letting go. But let us be absolutely crystal clear on this point, for it is the most misunderstood spiritual principle of our time. Letting go is not, and never will be, the same as giving up. Giving up is an act of despair, an act of powerlessness. It is born from the painful belief that what you desire is impossible, that you are not worthy of it, that the universe is against you. Letting go, however, is the ultimate, most profound act of faith and power. It is a conscious, sovereign decision to release your suffocating, white-knuckled grip on a specific, rigid outcome. It is the sacred act of untying your sense of self-worth from all external events and circumstances. It is a deep, soul-level declaration of trust in the divine timing and infinite intelligence of the universe. It's the profound energetic shift from a state of contraction that says, I absolutely need this to happen in this exact way, at this exact time, for me to be okay, to a state of expansion that proclaims, I am already okay, I am already whole, I am already complete, and from this place of wholeness, I am joyfully and peacefully open to receiving whatever is in my highest alignment, in a way that is for the highest good of all. Can you feel the energetic difference in your body as you read those words? The first statement is tense, constricted, heavy, and rooted in fear. The second is open, light, expansive, and rooted in a deep and abiding peace. When you release the frantic, chaotic energy of the chase, you create an energetic vacuum within your being, a sacred space of calm, receptive, and magnetic energy. And it is into this newly cleared space that the universe can finally, with grace and ease, deliver the blessings, the opportunities, and the love that were waiting patiently for you all along. The things you desire are not running from you. They are, and have always been, trying to find a clear, aligned, and peaceful energetic signal to lock onto. When you stop screaming into the cosmos with a frequency of lack, your soul's true, serene, and incredibly powerful frequency can finally be heard and answered. When you master this sacred art of letting go, you become energetically magnetic. Your entire vibrational signature, your aura, undergoes a profound transformation. You cease to be a frantic, exhausted chaser, and you evolve into a powerful, grounded, and effortless attractor. Think of the people you know or have observed who seem to possess a certain undeniable gravity. Opportunities, genuine friendships, synchronicities, and positive experiences just seem to flow to them with a remarkable ease. They are not always the loudest, the most aggressive, or the ones who seem to be working the hardest. In fact, they often possess a quiet, unassuming confidence, a palpable sense of inner stillness that is both calming and deeply compelling. This is not because they have everything in their lives perfectly figured out or because they are luckier than you. It is because they are not vibrating in a state of need. They are operating from a core frequency of wholeness. They know, deep in the marrow of their bones, that their worth is inherent, unconditional, and not in any way dependent on what they achieve, what they own, or who approves of them. This profound inner security radiates from them like a warm, benevolent light, and life, in its perfectly responsive and reflective nature, is irresistibly drawn to that light. What you once had to hustle and fight for now begins to arrive at your doorstep, seemingly out of nowhere. The validation you used to beg for now seeks you out. The love you chase now appears when you are least expecting it, but most ready for it. This is not because you implemented a better strategy or tried harder, it is because you stopped trying to force life to conform to the tiny, limited box of your ego's expectations. You committed to becoming whole first, and then, as a direct result, life itself began to magically and gracefully rearrange itself around your newfound state of wholeness. This is the very essence of what it means to be in a state of divine alignment. You are no longer fighting against the powerful current of the river of life. You are now floating in its loving embrace, trusting it to carry you exactly where your soul needs to go, to a destination far more magnificent than you could have ever planned. We live in a world that has, for centuries, programmed us for the very opposite of this sacred truth. From the moment we are born, we are submerged in a culture that teaches us that our value is inextricably linked to our productivity, our struggle, our grind. We are conditioned to believe that rest is a form of laziness and that constant, relentless striving is the only noble path to a successful and meaningful life. We have been taught to wear our exhaustion and burnout like a badge of honor, a testament to our dedication. We have come to see inner peace as a far-off luxury, a retirement gift to be earned after a lifetime of sacrifice, rather than the fundamental birthright it truly is, available to us in every single moment. This relentless societal programming is a form of spiritual amnesia, a collective forgetting of the universal laws that truly govern our reality. It systematically disconnects us from our intuition, our inner guidance, our higher self, and the very source energy that animates our being. The energy of need is the lifeblood of a world that profits immensely from you, believing that you are inherently not enough. It sells you products, lifestyles, ideologies, and quick-fix solutions, all promising to fill a void that was artificially created and relentlessly reinforced by the system in the first place. The journey of awakening, therefore, is the courageous process of unlearning this toxic conditioning. It's about recognizing that the frantic chase for external validation is a rigged game you were never meant to win. It is about mustering the profound courage to step off the hamster wheel of societal expectation and begin to question the very nature of the race itself. When you begin to practice detachment, you are not becoming passive or apathetic. You are reclaiming your divine sovereignty. You are making a conscious choice to power your life with the infinite, self-sustaining, renewable energy of your soul, rather than the finite, easily depleted, and ultimately exhausting fuel of fear, comparison, and the endless need for external validation. This brings us to the very heart of the matter, the pervasive and powerful illusion of control. The desperate, often unconscious, need to control every outcome, every perception, every person, and every minute detail of our lives is perhaps the single greatest, most universal source of human anxiety and suffering. It is a silent, insidious form of fear that expertly masquerades as responsibility, as prudence, or even as ambition. Let us be brutally, unflinchingly honest with ourselves in this sacred moment. How much of your precious, finite mental and emotional energy is being consumed every single day in the futile attempt to manage the inherently unmanageable? You send a simple text message and then spend the next hour in a state of low-grade panic, obsessively rereading your words, analyzing every possible interpretation, and desperately trying to control the other person's emotional and behavioral reaction. You rehearse difficult conversations in your head 100 times over, attempting to write and direct a flawless script that will guarantee the exact outcome you desire. You stay in jobs, relationships, or living situations that are actively draining your life force, not because they bring you joy, but simply because they are familiar, and the terrifying uncertainty of leaving feels more daunting than the familiar certain misery of staying. We cling to the known, even when the known is a cage of our own making, because our ego has been conditioned to believe that in control lies safety. But this is the most profound misunderstanding of power there is. True, authentic power is not found in the tight-fisted, anxious grip of control. It is found in the open-handed, trusting grace of surrender. The people who are truly thriving in this world, the ones who radiate a genuine, unshakable joy, are not those who have successfully managed to bend life to their will. They are the ones who have learned to masterfully dance with its inherent unpredictability. They have failed spectacularly. They have been deeply misunderstood. Their most cherished plans have crumbled into dust before their very eyes, and yet they did not break. And why? Because their core sense of self, their fundamental identity, was never chained to the outcome in the first place. The journey we are all on, whether we are consciously aware of it or not, is the sacred pilgrimage from the constricted state of fear to the expansive state of trust. It is the slow, sometimes challenging, and often painful process of unlearning the deeply ingrained lie that we must control everything around us in order to be safe. It is the glorious awakening to the profound truth that our highest good, our most magical destiny, often lies just beyond the carefully constructed borders of our own limited plans and expectations. Letting go is the master key that unlocks the door from the prison of your own mind, a prison built with the bars of your rigid expectations. This does not mean you stop having goals or desires. It means you begin to hold them lightly, like a precious bird resting in the palm of your hand. You do your part, you plant the seeds with intention, you water the soil with inspired action, but then you release the outcome and trust the sacred process of life to handle the timing and manner of the sprouting. You begin to trust in divine timing, not your own impatient, ego-driven timeline. You consciously shift your energy from desperation to direction, from pressure to presence. And in that ever-expanding state of presence, you discover a profound peace that is not contingent on anything or anyone outside of you. This peace, this inner stillness, becomes your new spiritual armor. It's an energetic frequency that is so powerful, so authentic, that it naturally and effortlessly magnetizes to you the people, the opportunities, the synchronicities, and the experiences that are in true, soulful resonance with your higher self. So, the real question that you need to be asking yourself is not, how can I get what I want? The real, soul-shaking, life-altering question you must have the courage to ask yourself is this: if I stop trying so desperately hard, what am I truly afraid would happen? In the raw, honest answer to that one question, you will not find more fear to be afraid of. You will find your freedom. You will find the beginning of a life that is no longer being handled, but is being fully lived. A life no longer being controlled, but being divinely co-created. A life no longer being forced, but is finally, beautifully, and gloriously being allowed to flow.